gentlemen, India, the former jewel of Her Majesty's crown, was still fresh from colonial rule when I was born in the mid-60s. We lived in the mountainous jungles of the Northeast. My father was a government civil engineer. Our home was this huge bungalow presiding on top of this hill, terraced with beautiful gardens. The house was staffed by a full-time cook, a full-time manservant, and a chauffeur available round the clock. The gardens would be maintained by gangs of gardeners who would arrive by the day. And all this was paid for by my father's job. As a young engineer, in those days, my father provided us a very comfortable life, almost colonial in scale. As I grew up in free India, the population exploded. And the government experimented with a socialist model that took productivity and wealth creation down the tubes. Furthermore, the country isolated itself from global world trade, citing the virtues of self-reliance. The one thing that India got right was investment in education. And it did so heavily, including engineering. But a side effect was that soon there was a flood of engineers with a low purchasing power and a standard of living. A dominant theme of our childhood was stress on education. After years of diligence and some luck, I managed to get into one of India's top 10 engineering colleges. After graduating, I worked for the best names in India. And during this time, I never questioned my standard of living till my firstborn came along. I was in my early 30s then. I was a young manager leading a team of 10 software engineers in Bangalore. I reflected upon the good times that Dad provided us and realized that something had changed. The gardeners, the cooks, the servants, the bungalows, the cars, all were herbs of a bygone era. But it did not stop there. The worst days were when I would be back at the apartment to see that the taps had run dry. Then I would have to rush down to the neighbor and fetch water from his well using a rope and a pulley. This was not the kind of life I had bargained for. Here I was in the day, working with the latest information technologies of the world, and then in the night, using a primitive rope and pulley to draw water from a well, and then stagger across the street, up the flight of stairs to my home. A few days later, a lady called in the afternoon, asking me if I was interested in working in the US. After a few days of technical interviews, I was headed to work for the global software giant, EDS, here in the US. I loved the US workplace. I was judged solely by what I brought to the table and nothing else. I slowly rose through the ranks to become among the top technical people in my organization. Everything sailed smoothly till in 2006 I fell for something. The College of Engineering here at our own very own ULR, launched a very ambitious program, the world's first graduate program in information quality, in collaboration with the famed MIT. I couldn't resist this change, this challenge. It was not easy. I had a family with 2 growing kids, my wife with a full-time job and my own job. But however, at the end of 2 years, I felt vindicated. We felt overjoyed when the college, among other things, gave me the Graduate of the Year award for 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, my recent education, however, has stoked within me a hunger. A hunger to move into new areas where, however, communication skills are critical. The need is to break down organizational silos, barriers, and exhort people to collaborate together on information. Being such a communicator, ladies and gentlemen, is a challenge that dwarfs anything else I have faced in my life. And I believe that there is no better place to hone such skills than a well-managed Toastmasters club. Towards that end, ladies and gentlemen, the Hi-Noon Toastmasters club, with its depth of talent, far exceeds that requirement. And I feel blessed and privileged to belong. Thank you.